Myths and Legends of Our Own Land by Charles Skinner. Condemned to the Noose. Ralph Sutherland, who, early in the last century, occupied a stone house a mile from Leeds, in the Catskills, was a man of morose and violent disposition, whose servant, a Scotch girl, was virtually a slave, inasmuch as she was bound to work for him without pay, until she had refunded to him her passage money to this country. Becoming weary of bondage and of the tempers of her master, the girl ran away. The man set off in a raging chase, and she had not gone far before Sutherland overtook her, tied her by the wrists to his horse's tail, and began the homeward journey. Afterward, he swore that the girl stumbled against the horse's legs, so frightening the animal that it rushed off madly, pitching him out of the saddle and dashing the servant to death on rocks and trees. Yet, knowing how ugly-tempered he could be, his neighbors were better inclined to believe that he had driven the horse into a gallop, intending to drag the girl for a short distance, as a punishment, and to rein up before he had done serious mischief. On this supposition, he was arrested, tried, and sentenced to die on the scaffold. The tricks of circumstantial evidence, together with pleas advanced by influential relatives of the prisoner, induced the court to delay sentence until the culprit should be 99 years old. But it was ordered that, while released on his own recognizance, in the interim, he should keep a hangman's noose about his neck, and show himself before the judges in Catskill once every year, to prove that he wore his badge of infamy and kept his crime in mind. This sentence he obeyed, and there were people living recently who claimed to remember him as he went about with a silken cord knotted at his throat. He was always alone. He seldom spoke. His rough, imperious manner had departed. Only when children asked him what the rope was for, were his lips seen to quiver, and then he would hurry away. After dark his house was avoided, for gossips said that a shrieking woman passed it nightly, tied at the tail of a giant horse, with fiery eyes and smoking nostrils, that a skeleton in a wine-ding sheet had been found there, that a curious thing somewhat like a woman had been known to sit on his garden wall, with lights shining from her fingertips, uttering unearthly laughter, and that domestic animals reproached the man by groaning and howling beneath his windows. These beliefs he knew, yet he neither grieved nor scorned, nor answered when he was told of them. Years sped on. Every year deepened his reserve and loneliness, and some began to whisper that he would take his own way out of the world, though others answered that men who were born to be hanged would never be drowned. But a new republic was created, new laws were made, new judges sat to minister them. So on Ralph Sutherland's 99th birthday anniversary, there were none who would accuse him or execute sentence. He lived yet another year, dying in 1801. But was it from habit, or was it in self-punishment and remorse that he never took off the cord? For when he drew his last breath, though it was in his own house, his throat was still encircled by the hangman's rope,